team check-in. We got Cyclone Paul and Sot sitting around. Do you prefer Sot or Solo or Troll?
I don't mind any of them. I like Solo the most, I think.
Solo, just Solo?
Yeah, just Solo.
I like
Sot's
Troll.
just like so easy to say because it's just like one syllable, you get it out there. Like Paul's very easy to say. Cyclone is just Cyclone, so.
Yeah, Sot's fine too.
We call him Troll.
We call him Troll.
We call you Troll.
Or I call him Or.
Yeah, or
It's the same thing like that Thanatos game conversation we had in the post-game interview, right? Like if you're popping off, you're Solo.
True,
but when you're inting your brains out, you're Troll.
True, yep,
and then that determines which identity you are of the day.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we're doing the check-in and just kind of talking about, I guess, like where the team is at right now and like looking towards the future a little bit, maybe a little bit towards the past. Things like that. I just straight up, I'm going to be honest with you three and with everyone watching, I just took Mifflin's questions from last week. So we're just going to go through some of those.
I took the other team's I took the King's answers from last week as well.
So this is going to be really impressive. I'm curious. So we'll talk about Captain Twig. No, it is really interesting though, because, like Phase 3, finally, like Worlds is on the line, right? Things are kind of mounting up. But like, Paul seems really relaxed about the whole thing. Like, is that like on your minds right now? Or are you just kind of thinking, yeah, you know what, we'll do whatever it takes, get to the playoffs, then we'll make it Worlds or do whatever? Is like, are these matches like heavier for you?
I don't know, man. I think we're just chilling, bro.
Just gaming, right?
We're just gaming, bro.
We're just kind of getting back into it.
Just gaming, bro.
We're just gaming, bro.
Just gaming.
It's steady as she goes.
Yeah, I know. Worlds is still it's in January, right? So
yeah,
what we got, like four months or so away. So I think we're more focused on the phase right now.
On just the phase,
brother.
Do you think that you like? Is there anything? Because like Phase 1, Phase 2, things were more money related, right? Like make it to playoffs if you win. Cool, big payout. Otherwise, who really cares? You still get your normal paycheck, things like that. And you were trying things like Warriors in the duo lane for Cyclone, whether they were successful or not, kind of went back to back, game to game. Is there anything like from the previous phases that you're like bringing into this phase that like you're like, yeah, that was like a really sick plan, or is it just gaming?
Just game, man.
Let's just keep running it. Let's keep running it.
If we can get like a full 30 minutes of just gaming answers,
just game it. That'd be super.
We'll go super in depth. I'll go as askew, like as far away from Smite as possible. We'll be like, so what are your travel plans for December?
We're just
gaming.
Speaking of Skewer, playing set more recently.
Yeah.
From in the past, I was playing that in like season
making
6
some
or so.
kebabs.
Yeah, making some kebabs. That was, you saw that game 2 of Bolts when they tried ending and we just wiped them all. Bro, that was a wombo combo. Let me tell you, that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
So moments like that, I want to know going into that. Is it just layers going, I hold, or like what are the comms like? Like what's the moment like for something like that to happen?
I believe I said they're ending. And that's just
they're ending. Everybody gets quiet. Like no.
Yeah, we said I'm ulting, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Roar's like I'm ulting. I had a huge roll.
And then we were like this.
Yeah,
we knew we had to go then.
Yeah, I'm like, when we won.
We had to go then, or they're gonna flat out.
Yeah, like
we
we
saw
saw
the game. You had to go then.
It was like really obvious they were about to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, they popped
They
shell.
pre-popped shell. I think Thor went into the air, and then they all just like ran at us. Or they ran at the Titan.
They krakened it.
But they didn't even run at the Titan. They didn't even like make it into the Titan room. Both their carries were at their Phoenix and they just died.
Yeah, Terra ult, Susanna ult,
and set
huge skewer, and you were literally point blank destroying Bera. So
it's actually really funny because like I was listening to the backliners like Bera and Agro's podcast, and like hearing it from his perspective was very similar. Where he was like, "Yeah, we just got like really excited to end, and then absolutely dropped it. Like
100%.
It was awful from them."
Yeah, Barrett died mid-animation is all.
He said he's like, didn't get my ult off, didn't use either of my relics, I just died.
He actually couldn't have used his relics because he was Hoi ulting and the Susanna ult hit him there, and then he just died.
Yeah, you should have ulted earlier probably.
Just unfortunate for
He should have pre-relic, honestly.
100%. Yeah, he could do that as well.
just like play better, right?
Yeah,
and
like,
then you
play around it.
So things are, I guess, like fun going into it, right? Like you guys come in, you go what 1-1-1 this last week. You mentioned like you're playing like assassins again. The meta. And that's actually a good question for just like the right now. Is like, are assassins just the thing, or do you think this is gonna fade in 2 or 3 weeks? Do you think like they're gonna start taking over duo lane as well? Like, where's the line get drawn? We see it in solo. We've seen them in mid. I think we've actually already. I think you played set ADC several times anyway. Like, is it just assassins gonna be really good for a while, or is there's something that's gonna fall off over the next couple of weeks?
I think until Paul stops gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Pagon's been playing it like the entire year, so
good point.
It's been there.
How did y'all feel about that swap, by the way? I'm just kind of curious about that. Pagon playing jungle while Scream played Atlas mid for them.
Well, actually, we scrimmed them that week, and there was the last scrim of the day. We swapped Paul and Scream and started the game accidentally.
Yeah.
So we did get the taste
I
of
was on the Dragons.
We did get the taste of Scratless mid.
So
then.
like, was that like better for you? Or?
Oh no, his team
Definitely. See you guys later.
their team got crushed. They all rage quit.
Yeah, my entire team. I joined the Dragons, and the entire team just left, and then
They
I'm
all
just
just
sitting
rage
there.
quit.
Yeah,
So now we know when roster apocalypse happens at the end of the year, Paul's not going to the Dragon. Like,
I locked in Hebo, bro, and then they all abandoned me, bro.
Scratless was going hard.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was going crazy.
That was
so
like
you two got to experience what it was like to be.
Yeah, we
beside
had
the
we had
Scratless.
Scratless.
They're very lucky, yeah.
And so like, not only do you endorse it, like you if it was like, are we gonna see Paul playing? Well, I guess Patless. What?
I mean, the Palace doesn't hit as hard as the Scratless.
Okay.
Scratless is just too.
It's just too
strong.
different?
Yeah, it's just different.
What about you? You played it in solo a couple of times. Do you think like
Yeah.
is he viable over there still? or
Yeah,
is
how's
it
the
just-
Satless going?
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Or Sotless,
I think
if
he's
you
good.
will.
I think
Sotless.
it just
I like that one.
yeah, it just
Sotless.
depends how we're playing the map.
Yeah.
Just play better.
Guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Look, as long as you're just gaming. Look, I mean, that guy's
Sure.
that
That guy's
guy's a
gaming.
2-time world champion. Like, right there.
Yeah, true.
Could've
And
been
you know what
3.
he's been doing? He's been gaming.
He's been gaming,
And that's
yeah.
what matters most. I have no idea which of these questions I was looking at. I guess some of these are like really serious, and I don't know how you would answer them. Like, is there anything from like phase 2 that you considered like a weakness for the team that going into phase 3 you're like, okay, this is how we fix that?
We lost.
Yeah, we didn't really have any good like draft strategies or anything like that. So
Yeah.
we
We
drafting
kinda-
was bad.
we kind of did not plan at all. We'd show up at scrims like a few minutes late, and we'd just run it down.
We gamed.
Yeah,
So
we gamed
maybe a
pretty
little bit more
much,
coordination
yeah.
now going
We
forward.
didn't know what was good or bad.
Like an
Maybe
SPL should do.
less gaming and more gaming.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably,
Yeah. Capital G gaming, right?
Yeah,
So
for
you got to
sure,
bring
yeah.
that
And
in.
we were like lowercase gaming, you know.
Yeah.
Showing up late to scrims, no draft strategy.
Really, no
Oh,
stress
no,
at
no.
all, dude.
Yeah.
I am kind of curious because going into this phase, and like if you guys don't want to talk about it, you got a veto button. But I know like there was the like layers that tweeted out stepping down, and I know like then that sparked the discussion with the admins to let him play online, have you guys go it because like otherwise you were gonna use a sub who was online anyway, so it kind of makes sense no matter what to me. But was that something like had he talked with y'all about that prior to that, or did you find out with the tweet? And were you like thinking about, oh man, what do we do? How do we find another jungler or anything like that?
There was a few instances in the past where we talked about stuff like that. So it wasn't like just a out of the blue thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did try out some new junglers because we didn't know at the time if he was gonna be able to play from home
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And we could say we tried out auto speed and Jangaru. And
Yeah.
how do you feel about that?
It didn't do too bad.
When Sock got a penta.
Yeah, I got
That's
Penta in
true.
scrims. But
We lost the
every
game,
scrim.
but he did get the
Yeah, we
penta.
lost every scrim.
That's what happens, yeah.
Honestly, did pretty well. He did pretty well. He's a bit on the quieter side.
Yeah.
Probably just a bit nervous, but he went like 8-1. It's like low key in scrims versus Kings. It was pretty funny. And he played like Hades and.
So now you know, like in the event,
Yeah.
you've got a backup ready.
Yep.
So if Galerius wasn't playing, our jungler would probably be
It would have been
auto speed.
It would have been
Yeah,
auto
auto
speed
speed.
that week.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it'd be crazy,
Most
yeah.
people would not think that because
Wait.
is he even an SML?
No.
He just skipped SML and went straight
Just
to
straight
SPL.
SPL.
The SOC and SML. And
Yeah,
just
we
stayed
saw
in
those junglers in those leagues and we're like,
Yeah.
auto speed, nah, bro.
Every jungler would have been fuming because they would have saw auto speed in the SPL
Yeah,
before them.
they were so mad.
Wasn't that like Jake? Right? He wasn't playing on a minor league team, was
I
he?
think Jake was playing. a
He's
little
like
bit.
in and out, like off and on, kind
No,
of.
I can only remember him from seeing like the weird,
Yeah.
like, hey, he's playing Neath support,
Yeah. It was only with teams.
and
like, with his
everyone's
friends.
mad about it.
Yeah, it was like only with teams with his friends, like with Haddix and like other friends.
Yeah.
But he wasn't actually on a team. I don't think at the time we got him.
Okay, well, that's at least we know, right? So like, but you still get to keep layers. I'm sure like y'all are pretty happy with that,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
layers
for
is
sure.
kind of insane when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy good.
Is it weird, I guess, having like the four of you in the booth and then him online, or does it not really change
Doesn't-
much?
It doesn't really matter
It's
at all.
not that much
Yeah.
of a deal.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much, but
So-
I would prefer him here, but you know.
yeah, 100%.
If he was there, so you could be like, dude, why are you messing
Yeah,
something
it's-
for me? Stop feeding. Come gank my lane.
He's definitely a lot more happy with his family.
Yep.
Just taking a little break or whatever.
And honestly, that I mean, it feels like that could like boost team morale, right? Like if
Yeah,
more
100%.
like one or two people are feeling down, having that kind of alleviate.
I've already
that stress
noticed
taken
it.
away.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, I've noticed that.
Does it reflect? This feels weird because it's like talking about layers, and I almost wish he was here so I could just ask him. But like, does it reflect in his play? Like, does he feel like are his comms cleaner? Is like the play a little better? Like, does it match the mood? Because like that stuff can really get to you.
Yeah, I would say his comms are definitely a bit better. But anyways, we've only had like a week or so.
Yeah.
So we haven't
we
really
haven't practiced.
We'll see.
We haven't really scrimmed too much.
The only scrim, our only scrim was that week before we
Yeah.
played those SPL games.
But
That's pretty nuts to come into the SPL games like that.
Yeah,
yeah, the
What a
All-Star
set, man.
the All-Star event was like my first Conquest game since the last.
Yeah, we did not play it like all, bro.
Yeah.
it was my 500th.
Well, I played Arena back home, like a couple days, but
For
never
sure.
Conquest.
Yeah.
For sure, I had the most ranked games out of any player.
Yeah.
last
Well,
time.
you've been streaming like insane numbers. Like you were grinding to hit 300, right? To
Yeah, yep.
make sure that happened before September ended, I think.
Yep, I got it.
And then like you're still like I think was it last night I opened up and you were at like 10-hour stream. Let's go.
yeah, pretty much.
10-hour challenge every day.
It's just like all right, man. Like you know what?
Call the hospital. dude.
More power to you. Like some people like that.
Yeah,
The
doctor.
Get an ambulance for this man.
we might need to, maybe we need to talk to you about mental health,
Yeah.
things like that. Like, look,
let me check
grinding
your,
ranked for
your
10
vitals,
hours
bro.
straight cannot be good for you. No, it's been fun though, right? Because I guess like you guys now success, being I want to say more common, especially one scrim going into last week, going 1-1, looking pretty good in those sets. Now going forward, like through phase 3, like you said, you're focused on the phase, but like Worlds is still on the horizon and kind of like the focus. And so I'm kind of curious, like, are you guys really excited? Just like for like an in-person Worlds, like be able to get there and like play in front of a crowd again?
Yeah, I'm
100.
excited for that. Yeah, and I think it's cool.
Or I
that it's,
guess
like,
again for some of you, but like for the first time.
yeah, second time for me. But,
Second time.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that it's also like somewhere else that's not here because it feels more of like a unique event that we're actually traveling to instead of just going downtown or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's actually really I don't know if that's gonna sink in for me until we're there.
Yeah. Probably,
Like that
yeah.
we're like somewhere else.
100%,
Yeah, yeah.
dude. Bro, I think it was like one event, SK World Season 6.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Oh man, like I'm not bragging, okay?
You can
But-
brag a little.
Well, I'm trying not to, but not trying to sound arrogant. So when Season 6 Worlds when I won, it was in person. Season 7 it wasn't. And bro, the difference is like night and day. Like I remember winning Pittsburgh Knights Worlds at that time
Yeah.
when we won as Pittsburgh Knights. And I remember like a few hours after winning, it's just at night and it's like we're all just at home just sitting there. It's
Yep.
like it didn't even feel like we won, man.
It was.
Well, those games were different because they were done beforehand.
Huh.
Yeah.
Are you not talking about that? bro?
Yeah.
Well,
No, everyone knows.
That was something, yeah. The people realized it because the games, like the broadcast,
if
did
you
it
look
like
at the
8 or
shades,
9.
it was the shades on your cameras where it was
But-
like during the
Like,
day.
dark, right?
We
But
did
it's
the
at
hammer
night.
lifting
Okay.
video, but it
Yeah.
was like the middle
At
of the day,
night,
bright
like-
sun.
Okay, I just want to say, dude. Okay,
I
let me tell
forgot
you.
about that.
This actually wasn't Hi-Res's fault.
Well, it was your org's fault.
It
for-
was technically
Someone had
so
like a
what
flight
happened-
that
no,
night.
it was
Exactly.
like their visas, right?
Yeah. So what happened was,
Or you think a COVID testing.
we had our COVID tests, and it was something like, oh my god, it was like we had a flight or something, and we had a COVID test. This is at the time when you had to get a COVID test
Yeah.
for your flight. And I think we were gonna like miss our flight or something.
You guys
or we
were
had
like
to-
flying the same
had
There was
to-
like a flight at 8 or 9 p.m. or something.
Yeah, but
that
we
was
had to like
you have to
rebook
be
it
gone.
because the COVID test people didn't send it within a certain time frame, and so the games had to be moved, and so Hi-Res wanted to be live, but we literally had to, and then something along those lines. It was a
It was
fiesta.
scuffed.
Yeah, no, because we did when the hammer got. If you want to, this is pulling back the veil 2 years ago. But yeah, the hammer lifting video, you guys came out into like your yard,
Exactly.
and it's like super sunny, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Games were being broadcast like at 8:30
Yeah.
that night. So yeah, definitely a
Couple-hour delay.
couple hour delay. The only person who knew
COVID happened.
outside of you guys who knew what was going on though was Hindu, and
'Cause he had to
would
drive.
not
He had to,
talk
like-
to any of us.
He had to like drive, like stay in between both the team's houses.
Yep,
to do it.
because he needed to be ready to go to anyone. And
And
then
he
of
didn't
course it
real-
goes 5 games.
He didn't know who was gonna win because like Ghost was stomping them for like
Yep.
almost every single game.
Yep.
So he was like thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go to Ghost, and then
Yeah, and then
PK
They
goes up 2-0. Okay, I need to be able to go over there. It's like, okay, well, no, Ghost just stomped him 2 games. Damn.
yeah, so nobody got to watch it, and so it's just
Imagine if
pretty
like a
funny.
team throws at the very ends and like the other team wins.
Hindu's on the
Yeah,
way.
he has to-
Hindu's
Turn
on
the
the
other way.
Hindu's on the way. Insta throw.
Well, so that one, I guess that is like, because we had the same thing, right? We finished casting World's Finals, we're all there. And then we just walked out and we're in the break room of like this building. It's like,
Yeah, it's
huh.
super weird, man.
I went home that night and I was like, so that's
Exactly.
just it.
exactly. It's
Like,
just weird. No after party.
no
No
after
nothing.
party, no like, oh, I have to figure out how to get home, or like the next day I'm super
Bro.
tired from staying up late.
When we won season 6 Worlds, we're on a stage. There's lights and everywhere, and there's a crowd, and there's all the confetti coming down. Season 7, we walk out to our front lawn. The neighbor's dog just walks over. Like Hindu hands us like the trophy or whatever, and then he pops like a dollar like confetti thing. It just blows up, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah, we world champs, huh?
world champs to the dog.
Yeah, and you know what? That dog's your number one fan because he was the only one who came out for it. Well, I guess
True.
Hindu
That's
there as
true,
well. But
True,
yeah.
true.
Well, actually, you know what? This one's a really interesting thing. But it says now that there are world's implications on the line, does that like affect team mentality? Like, I mean, you said you're just kind of focused on the phase, but like, does it affect going into the sets, like how much preparation you want, or if somebody like if there's like a small mistake, maybe it like raises tensions, or is it just more smite?
Just more smart. We're just gaming. You know, I think we're just
Just trying to improve.
yeah, just trying to improve. Yeah,
It's
I mean,
it's funny
serious
because like
games.
it's a joke, but like at the end of the day, you are kind of just gaming, right?
yeah, yeah.
Question. Just gaming. Question. Gaming. Just gaming.
How do you think some of the like because we've seen like meta shifts, things like that, map changes that are slight, like Interceptor is back, which I think in this case really affects you the most. Is that gonna like change? Is that making splashes for the league, or is that like just another thing to have over in the dual lane?
Yeah, it's just a important objective to contest like Scorpions, because it's all neutral farm now instead of the dual lane getting both like Scorpions up. It's just one objective, so that's just less farm. So it's more important to contest that to deny them farm.
That'll be fun to I guess just watch, right? Where the pressure is, what the picks are. I forgot I was in the world section, so I read a question off in the wrong area. That's on me. I also am really curious about this question. So again, these are Mifflin's, like what he had prepared for the Kings outside of like things that are just going to come off the top of my head. But one was like expectations for Texas as a venue, which I think is going to be fun to ask you guys. But he put a sentence on the end that says, "I know it's got a reputation in Europe." And I'm really curious. I guess I need to go back and watch what the reputation he meant.
What
it
is the
was.
reputation?
I don't know.
No
Oh,
idea.
was a good one, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume probably not. If I,
If he has to leave a comment saying
I don't think the
reputation,
U.S. has a good reputation in a lot of European countries.
Oh my god.
if he has to leave a
dude.
comment like that, there's no way it has a good reputation.
Is it
in
actually
Europe.
bad?
I mean, it might just because of like the state politics and like it's like a red state. And I think
Yeah.
maybe some Europeans might think it's like I don't know.
heard-
I've seen some tweets that people are
I
like
have
kind of
heard some.
concerned about going just because
Just
it's like
Texas.
yeah, but I mean it's really not gonna. Like,
Yeehaw,
I
brother.
think it's not as bad as people think it's gonna be. I mean, they're just going for like a 3-day event. It's not like they're living there.
It's
Yeah.
just a gaming event.
Yeah,
If y'all win, anybody gonna get a cowboy hat?
probably honestly. I might probably get one either way. To be honest.
Really, just like just
Probably,
for the
yeah,
sake
I
of
mean,
being.
I was in there. I was in Texas for like a few days, but the day, but
If you get one like the first day you're there, please wear it for any
I should.
interview. any interview walking out on stage. I just think that
I
would be
might. I
great.
probably will honestly, like a little like a belt buckle and like a handkerchief or something.
If they do a player intro, you should just wear your hat.
True, I should. That'd be sick.
I would love this idea. But like, yeah, I guess we're going in. I've only been to Austin, Texas. Like, I've never been outside of that city, and
I was
admittedly,
Austin as well.
I've been to just downtown next to the convention center, so I don't even know where like anything else is or anything about the city. But like, Arlington is, it's another place.
I have a buddy who lives like 5 minutes and 10 minutes right around the studio
Oh, really?
there in Arlington. Yeah.
So you've got at least 2 guaranteed people who are coming to cheer you on.
Yeah,
right?
I mean they would, but I don't think they got tickets. They sold
They
out
sold
so
out so
quickly.
quick.
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
bro, are there scalpers? Do you know, man? Like, what's going on?
That's honestly no clue.
That's crazy.
Because I have my ticket.
Yeah.
And I get a single +1 that is going to
Same
Katie. And then I remember like that Wednesday, I was like, "Hey, Katie, like message, see if anybody wants to come or anything, because like tickets are on sale."
Mm-hmm.
By the time she actually texted her parents or her family, tickets were gone.
That
And I
sucks.
was like, "Oh,
That's crazy.
it's that weird balancing point. I don't have to do any ad reads for ticket sales,
Yeah.
but also
True.
it feels weird that's like that used to be like an ad for Worlds every year.
100%. Why
Yeah.
they sold it? So is the venue
The
just
venue's
small?
The
Right?
venue's not as big.
I think
as-
it's smaller than Cobb,
It's way smaller than Cobb. I'm pretty sure.
but I know because I think it's like 2,000 max,
Something
and a
like
Cobb is
that.
like
Around
3 to 4 or
2,000,
something.
Yeah.
But it also has some like really sick stage stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, really? I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything about it. So.
We did like a Paladins. I think there was a Smite event in season 5 that was in the esports arena in Vegas, and we did a Paladins one in the same one, and it was like that one was very small because it's Vegas, and trying to get anything large in that area is impossible. But I have to imagine they've got the room. I watched like a Dota event there a month ago or something that it looked really dope. So
That's
I'm pretty excited for that.
Cool.
And I guess that actually comes into where this one is, like, you know, you guys playing in front of fans, you're excited for that to be there. Does it add like extra pressure at the event, or like do you consider yourself? I guess we play on LAN all the time, so like it's not even like a LANimals thing as much as it is like a crowd effect thing. Do you think that's gonna like play heavily into anybody's emotions?
Yeah. When the
Maybe
crowd's
slightly.
cheering, you're feeling really hyped.
Yeah. It probably adds like the excitement and just
Yeah.
overall, you know.
What about the opposite? Because like, you know, like if you make a play and the crowd cheers, you hear it and it's like, yeah, that's right, that was us. What happens when the other team makes a play and you hear the crowds cheer? Like, does that ever like get to you?
Not really.
I don't know.
I think the only negative is if the crowd's too loud and you can't hear the game sound
game
in
itself.
game.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I remember there was like
That happened in season 6, where Morgan, you literally couldn't hear Morgan stuff at all
Yeah.
at that Worlds.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And the bass was so loud too. It was like you hear thoughtful.
It
and
was
it's like,
so loud. Kraken, yeah, with the bass of the studio or whatever, or like the
Yeah.
stage. Oh my goodness, bro! Kraken got dropped. It was like an earthquake, bro. Like I'm not about to head out. Like get me out of there.
I think we have something similar. There was like Gold Fury. Oh no, that wasn't it. So way back before, because like now it's global, right? If Gold Fury goes down, you're gonna hear the cue whether your team got it or not. But I think it was like season 2, season 3. I remember it being a big deal because like if it was on the world stage, we played audio for Gold
Oh,
Fury and
yeah.
Fire
Oh
Giant,
my
but that
God.
wasn't in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, so the other team would just
Bro,
know.
you
Yeah.
brought back bad memories. I used to play Xbox before PC, in the console league, I should
Yeah.
say. Yeah, and so before the stage or whatever was like, it was in this, I think it was here, and it was like small, like the 2 stages
Yeah.
where people set up are right next to each other, and
You
so
can see across.
you can literally, you're pretty much like right next to them. And then I remember everybody like, we're gonna call an objective, like, Go Fury, Go Fury, Go Fury, Go Fury, Go Fury. Everybody would whisper it to each other because if you say Go Fury, they can literally hear
Hear
you
you,
and they'll
yeah.
just run over. So it's like kind of like
Dude.
you gotta whisper to your teammate.
I remember Cloud used to yell, "Go for it, go for it, go for it!" And then like as they're doing Fire Giant, be like,
Yeah.
"Guys, go, you know, like make like a fake
fake call.
a fake call, and then they go to the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, you do.
And then everyone would go for it.
Such a fiesta, man.
That's the only benefit of that setup, because there's a lot of things that are not good about it. Example A and I guess maybe B, but the best part about it was Mifflin when Coast got out of LAN, he got a pentakill, Vaporish Coast, and it was against Mifflin's team, and he had to sit there while this like 12-year-old was screaming at him, getting a pentakill, and that to me is that's a warm memory. So there's always fun. So forgetting just about like Smite stuff, because why not? What's it like? I guess like being a Titan. Like, what's the team environment like outside of game? You guys like hang out a lot? Do you just kind of do your own thing? What's going on behind the scenes?
We're just gaming.
Yeah, I mean, we hang out sometimes. We play Paul Layers, his girlfriend, and Aurora and I. We play like board games. So Cyclone joins us as well sometimes. So we play like I don't know, a few board
Just
games.
trivia games,
Yeah,
stuff
trivia
like
games,
that.
yeah,
He was playing
a game called
Coop.
Coop. Yeah, it's really fun. It's like a card game kind of thing.
Yeah, sometimes go
Yeah.
to eat and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we go to see sometimes.
Yeah.
But mostly just gaming.
Mostly just gaming.
Yeah, but
Sot's always gaming.
I mean, yeah, at this point, you're grinding the stream hours too, right? So
Yeah, I
like, you've got time. You've got scrims into SPL into streaming. Like you don't.
pretty
You're
much,
on
yeah.
Smite too,
Yeah,
maybe
pretty
too much.
Yeah, it's like wake up, Smite, go to bed, Smite, pretty much. Yeah.
That's so like, what I mean, well, maybe that's not a good question. I was gonna say, what games do you guys play? Like outside of like your scrims, you get off if you're like, okay, you know what, let's relax. Do you have like a something you go to that's like chill? Do you have a Minecraft server or something?
No.
I play Phasmophobia, Classic WoW.
Love Phasmophobia.
You play Phasmophobia?
Yes.
I play as one.
Nice.
I haven't played. They've added a few ghosts since the last time I played, but
Yeah.
I got really good at professional level, and then they made it way harder.
Nightmare level.
And I'm like,
Oh.
I don't think I'm good enough at this anymore.
I was. They just released a patch on it like a couple days ago. It's like the custom difficulty or whatever. It's like 0 evidence. It was pretty tough. Yeah.
That's
Really?
ridiculous.
You got some
go.
big rewards. I was doing that.
Oh.
Not to brag again. Okay, it was pretty easy for me. I was just
I
kidding.
mean, like, what do you do with that? Like, I guess we can veto it. I guess it's just like, hey, that ghost seems irregularly
Based off
aggressive,
personality.
so maybe.
Like Poltergeist throwing a lot of stuff
Yeah.
along those
That's-
lines.
Man,
Super cool.
oh, but you gotta get him so angry to get him to do that stuff. I don't like. I don't want to do it. But yeah, no. So that's fun. Cyclone, do you have anything like after scrims? You're just like, yeah. You
I
know
play Lost Ark, unfortunately.
Everybody says the same thing.
I
Like,
play Omega Strikers, which is like a mobile air
Yeah,
hockey.
I've been playing very little, but one of my friends is like every 5 days, like, hey, do you want to play?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's just like
I just like knocking people out of the map.
MOBA soccer
Yeah.
is the way I would describe it.
What about-
MOBA air hockey.
That sounds pretty
really.
fun.
what about Smite Knockout?
Smite knockout.
DK. What do you mean?
Divine
Divine
TKO.
knockout?
What,
Yeah, divine knockout. Come on, Paul.
Divine
Branding.
Knockout. Whatever, dude. The same thing.
And then lately, I just play Shadowverse, which is
Shadowverse.
just Hearthstone, but anime.
But
Yeah.
honestly, not bad.
Nice. I played some like Valorant League and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Valorant for a while. I go through like phases. I'll play it for like 2 months straight and then stop playing and then keep playing.
I think it's funny because Valorant, in my mind, is still probably like the more popular now. But for some reason, me and my friends always go back to CS.
Really.
Yeah, what's more popular?
That's just the nostalgia.
What's more popular, CS or Valorant?
Valorant?
Definitely Valorant.
I think
now.
Valorant has like a
Valorant,
higher
yeah.
player base.
Valorant's like the biggest.
Yeah, CS
thing
might have
right
more
now.
peaks, but
I never touched Valorant, but isn't Valorant just CS:GO?
It has
But like you have
abilities.
abilities.
kind of, yeah, it has like abilities and like
It's the same thing. Isn't
I got
it?
really
Yeah.
mad about it when it first came out because I can't remember the name. There's one guy who has like flashbangs that like curve around the corner.
Phoenix.
Like that's his ability.
Yeah.
And I was just so mad because I was like, what if I want to flash? Like that guy has to flash for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's on the other side of the map, and I was
Yeah.
angry about
What
it.
was your ability then?
I cannot remember.
Oh, yeah,
Who knows who I was playing?
Bronze League.
I played
Anyways.
CS before.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was awful at that game. I say that like I'm good at CS:GO. I'm not.
What's your rank in CS?
I have been hard stuck silver 2. It has not ranked me up. I've won. This is what's
Same.
really irritating. I've won like 20 games in a row. It will not rank me up.
Really?
Yeah, it's so wild.
It just knows.
I lost one the other day, and it was like the first one I lost, and I was like, dude, if it de-ranks me off this, I'm gonna be so mad.
Bro, I was silver too, and I just hide behind like the door, and I'd only play D-Dust 2 because I don't know, I'm just that type of
Yeah.
player. I just hide behind the door with like the Nova. I do this. Everybody's got the AK and the M4, whatever it is. I just got my Nova just sitting by the door, like some donkey, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. That's been like my like, hey, I'm really poor and I need something to do well. I'm gonna grab like the Nova and just like hope for the best.
I get the P90 and just spray and pray.
P90. Oh my god, it's P90 Nova, bro. I have enough of the AWP, but I just have my Nova, bro. Bro.
I got the SM submachine gun and I just sprayed everybody.
Yeah, the P90. Yeah,
I like the idea that
Actually,
Paul
no.
is just the
I
economy
think it was just
for
a
his
machine
team.
gun.
yeah.
I remember the first time I installed CS:GO to play with my friends and they immediately queued me in a ranked. I was like, okay.
It's so weird because like there's like Smite ranked, you're gonna get your picks and bans, but it's still 5v5. CS, it's like
You just get in
competitive is 5v5 and
just
it's like
get in there.
map pool, but like their
Yeah.
non-competitive is 10v10 and wild. It's way too much. It's a different game. Let's see. That's that covers the what do you all do when you're not grinding the game and competing.
Yeah, what about you, saw it?
I like movies.
But
I
it says not grinding the game, so
Yeah.
there's very small windows
Yeah,
for
I mean,
you.
I have a
here.
passion for movies.
He's got a passion for his
I like,
Tesla.
yeah, I like Tesla. I like driving. I like
When you say passion for movies, is it like you see? Oh my God, what's the award movies get?
like Oscars.
Oscars. It's like you see that and you're like, oh, I gotta go watch this one. It won Best Picture. Or like,
Yeah,
do you-
sometimes. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I like looking at the Oscars and see who wins. But I just like seeing. I like looking at like acting, like good acting.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an actor, to be honest, a while ago, but yeah, I just like just good movies, good cinematography, good score, and good.
Does
acting.
it? So like, do you have? Cause this always ends up happening, right? You'll have the people who are like, okay, this movie was like Oscar worthy. It's really good, and those same people will hate like comic book movies or just like blanket action movies.
Yeah.
Do you like? Are you similar? Like, do you think that like some of those are? I think you just said you watched the first Iron Man movie like within the last week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, it was like last year.
Last
actually.
month, or last year,
Yeah,
last
last year. I watched all the Marvel movies last year, but no, I'm not one of those people. And I think, I mean, some of those people are kind of annoying, but I mean, I think it's fine to just let people enjoy what they enjoy.
Enjoy what they enjoy.
I think like the Marvel movies or like comic book movies, they serve like a different purpose. Kind of, they're more of like, just.
It's
fun.
not meant to be like great cinema.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a fun movie.
Yeah, fun movie. Exactly. Yeah, I think they're really good. Like well-made like movies.
Yeah.
Like they're just extremely good in all aspects. But like they don't hit as well, or like they don't hit the same as like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty different. So.
It's really funny because I learned a long time ago I'm really easy to please, like movie wise, but also like TV show wise. Like apparently, I have very low expectations for everything.
Dude, I'm
like,
the same way with movies.
Cyberpunk came out and I really enjoyed that game
Yeah.
when it first came out,
Really?
despite everybody hating it.
Okay.
Same
Yeah.
thing with like when No Man's Sky came out, and that kind of opened my eyes to the fact that I'm apparently very easily pleased
Yeah,
by
I'm kinda-
pretty much
I'm
anything.
You
kinda
just
the
like
same
being
way.
stimulated. You just
Making
want to game and
Cyberpunk
be
too.
stimulated.
Yeah, I just need a game, man.
No Man's Sky nowadays is actually really good too.
Yeah, dude,
I
the
heard
patches
that,
are
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I played it recently.
I think they're like 16 patch
Yeah,
like
like
big
expansions,
updates in, and
expansions.
like they've just added so much stuff.
I haven't
That's
played it
crazy.
before.
That's crazy stuff. Yeah.
If you ever need to like just get lost, that's a good one to do it.
Yeah,
You
it's like-
just
it's like
fly in
Space
It's like
space.
Minecraft,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
Yeah.
Minecraft,
Like
that's
it's
Space Minecraft.
randomized.
You can play co-op and stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah. Also, they're making Cyberpunk 2, by the way. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I saw
that.
that. Got an
Yeah, I
that
haven't
with
played
like
the first.
Yeah, like
either.
5 Witcher
3, maybe 4 Witcher things
Yeah, like
alongside
5. I
it,
think
right?
it's like 5. Yeah.
What do you mean 5 Witcher
There's
things?
5 Witcher. So there's like a trilogy, and then there's another game they're making.
They're making another Witcher.
Yeah.
And then there was something with like
one more game.
multiplayer stuff
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it too.
Like another single player, a multiplayer game, I think, and then like a trilogy as well. So
Yeah.
it's like 5.
Baskin's salivating at that.
Baskin's like, dude, wait, guys, I'm quitting the SPL again.
Witcher 3 is so good.
Baskin always dies on the hill that Witcher 3 is the greatest game ever.
It's extremely good, and it's definitely up there. It's gotta be like top 10 at least.
So this is the funny thing about Witcher 3. I never beat it, but I put
Same.
80 hours into the game.
Same.
Really?
Yeah, I
never
was
beat
doing
it.
every side quest I could find, and like it burned me out
You got
because
bored.
I was
Wow.
just there was so much content.
Yeah, no, same.
Wow.
played it
I
on
was
Xbox.
over leveled for everything.
That's crazy.
I played it on Xbox like when school's like out in the summer, and then I didn't beat it. I got like all the way to like near the end, like the snow
Yeah.
area, and then I'm like, oh well, I should probably beat this, but I never did. And then I got it again on PC, and then I didn't beat it again.
Nice. I'm in the same boat with Elden Ring though, because like I played a ton of that, like 100 hours or something, and then I just never beat it.
Oh dang.
It's
yeah.
still sitting somewhere
I have
at
5
like
hours.
the level 80s or whatever, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
I didn't play that game either.
Yeah, I heard the game was. I heard the game was really good. So maybe I'm missing out. but-
I heard that too.
I did not and do not normally like those style of games,
Yeah.
and so I was
Dark
very
Souls
impressed
style.
that it like I enjoyed it because
Yeah.
I was like I would watch. I didn't buy it for a week and everybody's playing it.
Mhm.
And I was like, damn, that actually does look kind of fun though. Hold on.
If anyone likes Elden Ring or like those types of games, a game called Sifu on the Epic
Sifu?
on the Epic Game Store is really good. Yeah, it's a sort of like
Oh,
Dark Souls.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a kung fu fighting game. It's like Dark Souls. It's like
I'm starting to learn I might spend too much time on
yeah.
Twitch.
Yeah, no, it's super good. Yeah, it's like when you die, you like age.
Bro,
so it's really cool.
I like barely watch Twitch. There's so many ads, man.
Same. I don't watch Twitch.
You get
much either.
spammed with ads.
So I have like 3 streamers that I watch. One gets my Prime sub, and then the other 2 it's like $10 a month for the 2 of them. And so like I have a sub to Lyric, I sub to Moon Moon, things like that. Where I'm
and
like,
is that no ads when you sub?
they have it set for no ads when you
Oh,
sub.
okay,
So like
okay.
those are like, so I have like someone for the morning, someone for the day, someone for the night, and
So that's
then
just who you
I'm
watch.
covered. And then I'll like go open SOT stream and get slammed with pre-rolls and be like,
You're
well,
not part of the sock drawer.
no, I'm not. Because I don't have enough money.
Do you know how many socks you have?
No clue.
I have like a currency in my.
You should
stream
give
where,
me your
I
socks.
should go look.
If you like watch.
It's not gonna be a high enough number. I don't want you looking at my.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is it just solo or troll?
It's solo 0 R troll, like there's
Solo.
0 in the R.
Oh yeah, this guy. Look at this guy. This guy's only got 21 followers. You should-
That's actually my account. I just don't have the password to it. And I
Wait,
tried,
really?
Yeah, I tried contacting Twitch and they wouldn't respond.
I'm the same way. I have one that's just Gormizer.
Yeah.
Cannot for the
Really?
life
Wait,
of
wait.
me
They wouldn't swap
remember.
it for you.
Yeah, they just won't answer me.
So-
I forgot my password.
Really? Okay. I had the name when I first made my Twitch. I had the name Paul from Smite, right? And I want to be Paul from PC. So my friend, I remember during the console days, I was in my game and he trolled me. He made a Twitch account called Paul from PC, and he was typing in the chat while I was playing, trying to get me in trouble.
What the
And so
heck?
he's like, "Hey guys, I'm Paul." Blah blah blah. And so 5 years later, I want the name Paul from PC, and so I messaged Twitch to get me from Paul from Smite to Paul from PC, and then they actually switched it for me. So I have the
Oh,
name
wow.
Paul from PC on Twitch now,
Oh, nice.
and so they actually did it. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't do it for you.
Yeah.
Just message him. You've got the following now. You,
True.
you utilize it. Bully him.
Yeah, I could try.
I think you could. You should
It's
try.
literally my account, so
Yeah.
I don't remember the password or the email to it. So
They did it for me. It was good.
yeah.
What? Because it's really funny in our stats. If I type in Paul, I still get like Paul from PC and stuff like in that listing.
Mm-hmm.
What made you drop to just Paul?
Wait. From
Like
what are you
when
talking about?
So like why you had Paul from PC?
In game?
Oh well, that was on console, wasn't it? That you were playing with Paul from PC.
Oh, I don't want to. Yeah, console. Yeah, Paul
Cray-
from
Cray
PC.
the
That's it.
Outlaw.
That's
Were
it.
you always just Paul on your
I went
PC
from
account?
Cray the
yeah
Outlaw.
on PC Smite. I've started with the name Crazy. It's like Creyz. Okay, let's settle down, bro. Settle down. And then yeah, I switched immediately from the name Paul because somebody at high res was like, I think we were playing Joust, and then like my buddy Freya, he's like. He's literally
I
has the name
remember
Freya
Freya.
in game,
Yep.
and so he's like, "Yo, you can just get your name to be something whatever you want. It's super cool. High res will change it for you." This was in like 2014,
Yep.
so don't even try now.
Does not happen anymore.
Yeah, it does not happen anymore. And so I'm just like, Paul, give me the name Paul. Boom, done.
I remember only because watching competitive games with Freya playing,
Mm-hmm.
there was a Freya meta, but Freya was not the person who played Freya.
I think it was me.
And yeah, and so it was really frustrating when you're like
Yes,
trying to
yes,
cast that. Where you're
yes,
like,
I
all right, so
remember
Freya's
that.
gonna get a kill, the god, not the player.
I remember that.
funny.
Was super funny.
That was, it was a time.
That was super duper funny.
Katie did something similar though because she had, I can't even remember what her Smite game name was prior, but the account Katie had never like had played one game in 2013, never been touched again.
Dang.
And in like 2017, 2016, she asked them, she was like, hey, I'll pay for a name change. Can I just have this name? And they were like, yeah, do it.
Really?
Just give
That's
it-
so. Yeah, that's
and
sweet, man.
So
I tried
she now
asking-
has the in-game name Katie.
Nice.
That's sick.
I tried
That's
asking for solo, but some guy has it like he's actually like plays the game. And has
Oh,
it.
no.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I think one of my friends or someone in the scene, I think his name is Hydrogen. He's a
Yeah.
rank player. I think he knows the guy who has the name Solo. And, like he was like high school with him or something.
Oh.
And he said he messaged him and said like I'll pay like for the name and but he didn't respond.
How much would you pay?
I don't know.
Where's what's the upper limit?
I would pay like 4,000 or something. I don't know.
$4,000.
I don't know, I mean-
Sorry, I
That's
probably
one
yelled,
per
but-
letter.
I was gonna
Holy.
offer like 500 or something for the name, but then like if they really kept saying no, like I don't know.
You'd be willing to go up,
Yeah,
but you wouldn't
that's
start
like my max.
there.
4,000
Yeah.
is my max. I would start at like
That's
I
crazy.
would start at like 500 or something.
Do not show him this
Yeah,
video.
do not show him, bro.
Because he's going to go straight for the 4K.
No, I'm telling you right now, if you offered somebody like $2,000, everybody would take it. There's no way. Would you
Yeah.
sell your name Gormizer for like
Oh,
2K?
100%.
Yeah, so
Are you
like,
kidding me?
bro, I swear
I
to God,
hate the
send
name,
him
bro.
that. I swear to God.
I hate the name, bro. I want the fucking. I want the freaking name. Solo, dude. Just solo. It's clean. I have it on Valorant.
Bro,
It's nice.
I'm telling you right now, you got to Pawn Stars him, bro. But best I can do is 750 or some
Best-
shit. Some shit like that.
That's I was actually thinking about that recently because I was like, if I hadn't been doing this for as many years now, like I'm the 5th, and I was like, I could totally have just done some like V, and that would have been that seems cooler to me.
Yeah, that'd be
Maybe
cool.
that's just me.
That'd be cool.
My mom hated nicknames when I grew up, so I didn't get anything fun. I was always just William, and I hated it. Cyclone Spin, you just got Cyclone Spin early on, and you haven't. Have you ever wanted to change your name?
No, not really.
You've just been hanging out.
Why'd you make
Just
your
gaming.
name Cyclone Spin anyways?
Because I was like 12.
So it's just cool, dude.
No, I just needed a name, so I just made it that.
So you just made it up.
I was
It's a good name.
thinking it was gonna be
I think
something
it's pretty
from
decent name,
some maybe not even a niche anime if it was at 12.
No, I didn't watch anime back then.
Oh no,
I didn't watch it until I got to high school.
and that was the true revolution.
Yeah, of being a degenerate.
This is the real character growth that we got. I don't have I shouldn't ask you guys about how you like living in the States because for most of you it's been the case.
You
for
can
a
ask
while,
Paul
right?
only.
Paul, how does it feel living in the States, man?
I know, I like it. It's pretty cool, but
Is it
most
better
of the
than
time I'm
Canada?
just inside. There's pros and cons, I think. But hey, what are you getting ready for the button for?
He
Bro.
grabbed the buzzer. He's ready.
I like it. I like it. I also like being in Canada,
Were you
True.
Snow's fun. I like snow skiing and stuff like that.
Snow skiing. Were you ever were you a hockey fan before you moved or anything like that?
Not really, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sucks being here because there's not like the closest I guess is Tampa Bay, and that's not close enough for me. And like because Katie's family's from Buffalo, and a lot of them like her mom was born in Canada, her grandparents moved from Toronto, I think. And so, like, a lot of them are just, like, really into hockey. And they got me really into hockey.
Oh, nice.
But then I live down here, so there's no one to go see live.
What team do you like? Like the Bolt or the Lightning or whatever?
I like the Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres.
Buffalo Sabres.
They're not great.
Yeah, same with the Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs.
It's not a good time, honestly, most of the time. A win, like... The good news is you never go in expecting a win, right? There was a point for like, football with, like, Clemson... that it was like because it's ACC and it was like this team has to win, but then I go into hockey and I'm like I have no idea what to expect this game.
You're free rolling because you expect them to lose, but if they win, you're cheering. Great. Yeah,
and if they lose, then I'm not really disappointed because I expected it anyway.
Good strategy, to be honest.
We went to a game last year, and first period, one of the other players checked a Buffalo like the play had been called. Afterwards, slams the guy into the wall. Another player rolls up, just starts beating the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah, the hockey
and like,
fights.
Yeah, but and like, for some reason, every time I've been at a live game, there's always been a fight, and Katie's like, "You're a curse or a plague or something."
How often are fights? I don't really watch.
It feels like they don't happen that often anymore because like most of the time you just get thrown out for 2 minutes.
Is it really a curse though?
No, for me it was pure entertainment.
It's more entertainment.
Yeah.
If anything, you're enhancing the value.
Yeah, everybody in that stadium is way happy, but that guy he got ejected from the game because he went a little too hard.
I never understand that. You're in the parking lot, you're fighting, cops are called. You're in the ice rink, people are fighting, everyone's just watching you. It's like, okay.
Not just watching, they're cheering for you.
Oh,
they want it to happen.
They love it,
bro. It's not a hockey rink; it's a hockey arena. Okay, you're literally brawling.
My sister-in-law starts screaming for blood, but for her team because if they bleed, the other team has a 5-minute penalty. So you get like a fourth of the quarter with a power play.
Get some ketchup or something. And
just smear it. Yeah, it's
wild, man.
It's a wild time. Hockey. Do you watch? Does anybody here watch any sports? Or because I know. I mean, no hockey. But do you have anything that like
very little League of Legends? You know, like the League of Legends world's going on. Like, to be honest, I don't even really watch it, but I was, like, kind of keeping up to date because I think it's kind of cool, like, how, like, Korea and China, like, dominate, and, like, NA in League of Legends is, like, super bad, and so, like, I like to see if there's any, like, upsets.
NA did just beat EU.
Yeah, and so that's, like, it's, like, a record, like, NA's never 3-0'd Europe in a set before or something
until
along those
EG 3-0'd Mad Lions.
Just happened, like, yesterday.
That's amazing.
So that's
really badly. Cool. It was really bad. They stomped them.
Nice. I mean, hope for NA. Maybe?
I was gonna say it's the power-up story, right? They'll make it one more round before they get bounced.
True, 100%. Korea and China's coming.
Yeah, they're waiting. And so it's wild how different it was from Smite, right? Like when we had the SEA teams or like the Australian teams come in, and it was like, hey guys, here's your fun round before the like SWC really begins, kind of deal.
And I think if the other region teams like China and
China just had a disadvantage.
Yeah, if like there's like Chinese teams are able to like practice a lot and like have like not like. Well, China, on even playing field, like not like be patches
China,
behind.
they were like a billion patches behind.
Yeah, if they were like any patches behind, they'd probably be pretty good.
They'd even have Sylvanas at the One Worlds.
Yeah, I remember that. They got there and it was like a new god.
It was like, what the heck is this?
That's crazy.
But I do remember. I wish I could remember the player name off the top of my head, but there was one player who was like really good at Anubis.
Knight.
Yeah, and it was like disproportionately good. Like there was no reason that Anubis should be played that well. It was at least fun.
Yeah, he almost sold the Bush and he was cracking.
I thought he did solo Bush.
No, he was close.
He almost did.
He misplayed it. If he played a little bit better, he would have killed him for sure.
Yeah, go back to season 1 and tell him to play better.
Yeah, I will.
Have they all quit now?
I mean,
I think all of them. Yeah.
Smite in China's
done. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure. Yeah, if we have servers over there anymore.
I don't even think it's a thing.
Like if they do, I think it's
we have Japan. And we have like.
Didn't they sell the rights to Smite in like Korea and China or whatever, just Tencent, and then they just kind of killed it off?
Tencent Tencent has the monopoly over it. So.
Yeah, so they kind of just don't want competition.
It's like Tencent, and then there's maybe one other company that gets the scraps.
There's like no way Tencent would let Smite grow over League of
yeah.
Legends and Heroes of the Storm.
And I know it was interesting because they had like part of the reason like Sun Wukong changes and stuff like that
and
were like, to make those changes more palatable for that region, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was an interesting time in Smite. I had a question. Oh, you had mentioned Season 1, going back and telling them to play better. Someone mentioned it yesterday, and it's kind of sparked my interest. But the conversation was like, Dragons are winning a lot right now. We'll see whenever that ends. But like, people were talking about the best teams, like NRG in Season 3 or in Season 2. And if you put them against any of the teams in the league now, do you guys think like the current Smite age would just dominate over everybody back then?
Yep.
Well,
It wouldn't be close.
Would that team like be like the current player skill right now? Like let's say
No, you just
That-
immediately
just that-
drop
that
them.
time
You
machine.
that
drop
season
their
2 team.
iteration into our
their iteration
season right now, they would get stomped.
Because there were people I think they
probably
said
would.
Season 8 Valks, which like long lost streak, right? I think they beat the Scarabs once.
Well, it kind of depends. Are the
If they
Valks
were still on
playing?
ping or
Are they
whatever.
playing on their own ping or not? Because like that's a huge disadvantage in itself.
Well, I guess since that NRG team was EU, we could just say it was an EU matchup.
they would still get stomped.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
NRG would
I'm not
probably
sure.
beat
I
the
don't-
bottom
I think
teams.
I think
I
NRG
don't-
would.
I don't think it'd be close.
Not like the top teams,
I
but
think NRG
the
would be
bottom
alright.
teams.
I think NRG would be okay, but like if it was like from their skill level back then,
Yeah.
like if they're like practicing like practice up, but if you just get like Emilito who probably hasn't played the game in months, then you
Good
come
point,
in,
yeah.
he wouldn't do well. But if he was like practice up like back then it'd probably be okay. But
I don't think
as a
it'd be
team,
close.
I think they'd be okay.
It's really interesting because like the map's bigger now. Gold is like the farm is more efficient than it used to be. Kills are like more.
People are way smarter now than they were back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. It's made things like honestly sometimes hard to go back and watch some of the older seasons because you'll see something
You're
you'll be
watching
like,
giant
how did
misplays.
that guy not get killed for that?
You're watching giant misplays after misplays.
Yeah, I mean I think if you give them like a month or something to like practice and like learn the meta and stuff like that, they'd probably be pretty good. But if you just like drop it in randomly like one set, they'd probably get farmed.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Probably farmed. Paul thinks that maybe could take a couple teams.
It depends. It really depends on the question because like
Yeah.
you can't really. Like, is this a time machine? They literally took a time machine and we're playing on like a map that's kind of
They
like.
took a time machine,
Yeah.
life or death. Right now, they have to beat the
it's
bottom
just
SPL
weird.
team right now.
Because they don't know the meta,
Yeah.
like, and the map. What if it's like a
Yeah, they
mix
don't
of the
know the
maps?
meta and stuff.
you
So
give
like
them
you're
a,
saying,
you
both
give them a little
teams know the
crash.
meta.
You give them a little crash course.
Because it's just a weird kind of.
you're allowed to watch this last week of SPL and then you
Yes.
have to play a set.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah,
You
I
get a
think
little
they'd probably be
crash
fine.
course.
I think they beat the bottom SPL teams.
I don't think they would.
Makes things
If-
interesting.
If they both knew the map, I think NRG would probably beat the bottom teams.
Yeah.
For sure.
But obviously not on this meta because they don't know the meta they played
Yeah.
back then. But if we
Yeah.
had some weird like alternate reality when like both teams know the map and the meta, I think
Yeah, I mean it's not like they're
they
dumb
had
or,
good
like,
comp. They
it's not like they're like
they had good
you know,
strategies and
It's
stuff.
not like they're incompetent. I mean they could just
Good point.
learn the game.
They-
like,
they
They could
probably
be
beat some bottom
incompetent. It
teams.
was season 2.
maybe.
They were all incompetent back then.
It's really interesting because some of those teams like you say like we were all incompetent back then. Like there were teams that won or lost did not matter on the player skill, and I'm thinking like Enemy is a good example. All you needed was like just a really good shot caller, and as long as everyone listened to that guy, you were pretty much set, even if you weren't mechanically better than the other team. Although I guess that's still like halfway true now. Like really good shot calls and things like that can change the game, right?
Yeah, I think I mean, but one good call could completely win a game. But I think what matters more is like being on the same page and like
Yeah.
just playing well off each other and like synergizing well. It's probably more important.
Maybe they do well. I wish we had a time machine. Well, if we had a time machine, I hope we use it for something way more important than this. But after all that other
Time
stuff,
machine to get the perfect lottery numbers.
Bitcoin.
yeah, after all the other stuff, that
invest
we
in
can fix.
invest in Tesla early.
I'd
before
go
it
back.
blew up.
I'd invest in like Google and Apple.
Get McDonald's before
Yeah.
it blew up.
Yep.
I think Tesla will be bigger than Google and Apple, honestly.
Also, go back and see because like this is such a weird tangent, but like some of those restaurants, like fast food restaurants, used to have like what was like genuinely good food, and like I'm kind of curious to compare. Like I want to see like a '50s Big Mac versus like
True.
a today's Big
And
Mac.
then
That'd
you go
be
back to the
really
50s, you
cool.
realize it's the exact same.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the exact
dang.
same.
Paul
Like,
and I-
my
probably
world
better,
just
right?
crumbles
You're just-
around me.
Your disappointment's immeasurable. Your day's ruined.
Yeah.
I give my time machine to somebody who will do something better than test fast food items against each other.
Yeah, Paul and I actually watched the movie called Founders about like the Big Mac, whatever, or, like McDonald's.
Founder,
Yeah,
yeah.
McDonald's, like Roy Kroc and all that. It was pretty interesting to see like, I mean, I know it's a movie, but it was kind of cool to see like how different the burger was.
Yeah,
And, like,
this is the guy who was CEO of McDonald's, and he walked into the original McDonald's
Yeah.
for the first time, and he's like, they gave him his food in a bag, like after ordering it, like 30 seconds later, he's like,
he's like a
this is
caveman.
my food?
He's like,
it's ready already. And then like the guy had to explain to him like he could eat it at a bench and whatever, because it's like the first kind of like walk-through restaurant or
fast food,
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the fast food whole thing. And and then he ended up like buying the company or whatever from the original owners, the McDonald's brothers, for like $1 million each. And then it ended up becoming like $1 billion, whatever. How much? I don't know how much McDonald's worth, bro. I don't know, but a ton of money.
A bunch of billion.
And so that guy just, oh man, and he like
Let's find
corporized it and all that stuff, like the
like 500 billion. Or...
what was it, the powdered milkshake
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
that's right.
along those lines, and
Then they started like buying lands.
This says so in 2021 in the U.S. their total assets was $54 billion.
so he did well. He did well.
Yeah, I think that was that's a worthwhile trade.
I
2
wonder what it's
million.
like worldwide. Interesting.
It's got to be massive, right?
Yeah.
Because they have locations literally everywhere. Side note: do you guys know anybody like, or are you the kind of person like if you went to like some country in Europe? Like, are you gonna go to a McDonald's in Europe? Or are you gonna try to avoid any chained
No,
restaurant?
I probably would because I know it's different in other like countries.
Yeah, I guess they serve other stuff.
It's higher quality and apparently it's like just different stuff. So like someone told me there was like a steak.
You would ruin your U.S. McDonald's.
Yeah, someone told me there was like a steak.
Experience.
Someone told me there was like a steak in I forgot Pennsylvania. I think Pegon told me he got like a steak like the other day, like a steak at McDonald's, and it was terrible. He said. And one of my viewers said it was like a lobster roll in Maine.
I don't know if I'm gonna get a
Oh
lobster
my
roll
God.
at
That sounds
McDonald's.
Please.
That seems like a great way to get food poisoning.
Chat, please do not get a steak
think
from
there was-
McDonald's. Please,
Yeah, he wanted
man.
to try it because he's never seen it. And they said it was
Oh my
terrible.
God,
I actually
dude.
had like food.
I
poisoning
hate
last
it
night.
because I would absolutely think the same thing. Like if I
Yeah.
went into a McDonald's and I saw steak was there, I'd be like, well, damn, now I gotta try it, right? Like that's
True.
gonna be awful, but
You know
Yeah.
what's coming, dude.
It
Oh
was
my
like bang
God.
secretly. It was just super good. Like the best steak of all time.
but you got the one, right?
Yeah,
Anytime
yeah.
you recommend it to anybody else,
Yeah,
it's the
they're like,
worst thing
"This
that
is
they've ever
terrible."
had. Oh man. I'm gonna be honest. I've gone through the list of questions, so I'll open the floor. Y'all guys have anything you want to just chat about? This is the Titans podcast.
Yeah, I was going to
now.
ask this earlier. So when we're talking about movies and shows and stuff, are any of you watching House of Dragon?
I haven't started it. I want to though, because Matt Smith is. I just really like him as an actor, and so I think it'd be really.
Who is
fun.
that? I don't.
He plays one of the Targaryens. In this.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not started it yet. I haven't seen Game of Thrones actually.
I'll tell you
Have
his
you
name.
seen Game of
and you-
Thrones? Okay.
I've seen Game of Thrones. That's
You
kind of
should
why I'm
watch it.
timid about it. Is because it's like I really liked Game of Thrones until it went off the rails.
100%. Same here.
And what I think is interesting is like I don't see a lot of people talking about House of Dragons,
Really?
Really,
and I
hear
think it's
about it all the
because in my mind, what's it called? Like, it did this weird like pop culture erasure. Like that ending, like the series finale for Game of Thrones aired. Nobody talked about it anymore.
Oh my God.
It went from a
true.
weekly conversation to no one said
was
anything
bad,
about the
time.
show.
It was bad.
And that's so crazy to me. It just disappeared.
It was bad.
It must be
man.
weird because like I haven't seen it, so it's like I mean, can it really be that bad? Like I mean, like I always hear how bad it is. I mean, it can't be that bad, can it? I mean,
I was talking to my girlfriend about it like a couple days ago, and the
nice
show
flex.
started, and it was
Yeah,
kind of like
weird
a
flex.
long thing. It was 8 seasons, right?
Yeah.
It spanned a lot of years, and so people like kind of like been watching it for a long time, and then I feel like she told me like at the end of the season 8 or whatever, it just felt like very bizarre. Like characters kind of changed their personality very suddenly, and it wasn't like what they were used to, and just people were really upset with it, man.
That's essentially like the books stop. I think season 6 is the last one that has like a book that's related to it. So 7 and 8 were
Exactly.
just the writers.
They winged it. Yeah.
And they said they consulted with George R.R. Martin. And there's a chance that maybe what happened was what he had planned, and then it didn't do well, and since then he's gone
Yeah,
back
yeah.
on it. But he did say that was not the ending that he had anticipated
Interesting.
for the story. So
Wow.
who knows? We're probably never going to get the actual written books because he's like super old and still has like 3 left or something like that. So
you better get to writing then.
I've never read any of them, so it doesn't
haven't
mean
either.
anything.
Apparently,
to
he
me,
doesn't
but-
write often. It's like a page like every week or something.
Oh, really?
He plays Daemon Targaryen.
Oh, that's my favorite character.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's my favorite character.
I really like
You
that.
should,
actor.
you definitely like it a lot.
That is the 3rd recommendation for it I've gotten, so I think I actually have to now.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's funny. That's my favorite
And
character.
especially because this one's live, so I can't even like play it under like, oh, I was drinking that night, I just forgot. We're just
yeah,
here.
it's great. It gives like the old Game of Thrones like vibes.
Has anyone watched Rings of Power?
I've heard about that.
Rings.
I haven't. I've heard about that. I haven't watched it. Though.
I haven't watched it either.
I heard it was bad.
I was hoping that you were going to say, oh yeah, I've watched it. It's actually really good.
Have you watched it?
Not at all. Which it's one of those things where it's another fantasy thing that
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
like
kinda
Lord of the
Game
Rings, but I don't
Thrones?
really need more.
Is it kind of Game of Thrones or what's it?
Well, because it's still like it's Lord of the Rings, but it's like when the rings were made, I think is the
Oh, okay.
premise. So it's like following a lot of that stuff. Like, what's it called? I think someone described it as like if you watch the movie and there's that point where he says, "I was there, Gandalf, 3,000 years ago." This is the 3,000 years
that's
ago.
cool.
That's
That's cool.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
So
Yeah, I actually just watched it recently, and I'm sorry, I fell asleep in it. I fell asleep in
Yeah.
it.
Do you like Star Wars?
It's like old. Yeah, no, I like Star Wars. It's just old, kind of like old fantasy vibes, and it's kind of like I dozed off. I apologize. I apologize.
you know what? I think that it's one of two options. You either fall asleep or you really like them, right? Like I don't
100%.
think there's a
People
middle
are
ground.
really
I've never
into them.
met someone who was like, yeah, they were all right.
I love the memes though, and it was really cool connecting the dots on the memes. Like the meme where it's like, after all, why should I? It's
Yeah,
mine
you
after
just-
all, like with the
Yeah.
ring or whatever,
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's like, oh man, it's like I finally understand the memes after all these times.
You're
There's
like,
so many of them.
I'm getting culture from this.
You shall not pass.
Yeah.
There's so many, man.
That's funny, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I like the idea of watching. So just watch the movies to try and get the memes out of them.
100%.
Figure out where they are.
Yeah.
After all, why should I? It's mine after whatever.
It's like with the Star Wars memes. There's so many Star Wars memes.
There's
It's
so
like, it's like you start watching them and it's like, oh, that's the meme.
Yep.
Hello there. Yeah.
What's
And a lot of it happens
love
in episode 3. Like they're all
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
episode three,
that's
yeah,
where all
yeah.
the memes come from.
It
Nobody
literally
does
is, yeah.
anything
And,
from like
episode
anything
2,
else.
Yeah, like visible confusion or
Yep.
I hate sand. It's just so funny.
Those are good. Prequel memes is a fun subreddit
going,
for that
yeah. It
exact
is, yeah.
reason.
It is.
And same with Lord of the Rings memes because of that exact reason. Like they're just ridiculous. Yeah, that's all I got. I think that's
right.
it. We there was some check-in stuff in there for sure, and then it just definitely was talk about
That's fun.
interests. But hey, you got it. Whoop, there you got a lot of fun content here. So that was it for hanging here. We've got something else planned, probably. I have no idea what it is. But battle sounds. That other thing that we do sometimes. We're gonna be doing battle sounds pretty soon after this. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with battle sounds.
Hey, wait, what did it win?
You win the respect.
Telling me an alien wore this?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, that was a good cut.
Messaging him to mute.
The best graphics you really need, ultra, of course, and I can probably watch a stream on the side.
Content's gonna look good.
Pretty good.